Morning. Hope everyone is doing really well. Hi everyone. So it's Nikki Thomas here, career success coach, podcast host for Winning in Work. Hope you've all had a really lovely weekend. The sun is shining here in the UK, which is brilliant. We don't tend to get much of that at the moment, so actually having a nice sunny day is so nice. So I'm coming on today to go and talk about self-belief. This is episode 9 of the Monday Career Series, and it's talking about self-belief. And I thought I would talk about it because it came up. I'm just going to turn this off because it's making quite a lot of noise next to me. Because that was something that came up on Friday, and I went to an event about International Women's Day, and we were all talking about having a bit of self-belief. And then I know that I've battled myself this weekend with a bit of self-belief, and so I thought we'd come on and talk about it because we've all been there, right? We've all been there with our self-belief. And one of the funniest things is that actually after a success is usually the moment that we plummet a little bit as well, and we tend to beat ourselves up. And we spend so much of our time beating ourselves up that we don't actually have fun and we don't actually enjoy what we've achieved. And then one of the biggest things I think with self-belief as well is that we are our own worst enemy with this. We really, really do. And I know because I do it. I do it all the time. I start with a negative self-talk. I talk myself down. I beat myself up. And I know I'm not alone. And I've actually watched and I've spoken to a lot of women over the weekend with International Women's Day where I think they've achieved amazing things. And then they talk about their achievements and they don't really believe it for themselves. And it's really interesting because we're all watching each other's lives, all going, wow, you're doing amazing. But the person that's actually doing all those achievements doesn't feel like they're doing amazing at all, and they're so busy focusing on the negative rather than the positive. So I wanted to talk about it because we've all been there and we've all battled with our self-belief. And really, that is the biggest thing that holds us back in what we do, in our careers, in our life. The biggest thing that holds us back and stops us from really fulfilling our full potential is our belief in ourselves. And it's funny, isn't it? Because it doesn't matter if everyone else around you is saying you're doing a great job. If you don't feel it, you just think they're being nice. When really you're probably absolutely smashing it and not even realising. So really, really think about it. Think about all the stuff that you're doing. And one of the things I think is something you should really, really do is write down everything that you're proud of. And if you're struggling with this, then this is something that you really need to do because it goes to show how bad how your self-belief is holding you back. So really think about it today. Sit down and think, what is it that I'm doing really, really well in at the moment? And it could just be like little things. It could be that you hit a work deadline. It could be that you're actually managing to juggle social life and work life at the same time. It could be that you helped a colleague the other day and they didn't understand something and you were able to help them out. So really think about it and write it down, and always celebrate your achievements, because if you don't celebrate them, no one else will. And this is the biggest problem. We are, and I know in the UK we're bad for this, we almost talk ourselves down because we're worried that people are going to think us arrogant or, up ourselves if we say that we're doing well in something. But the problem is that if we don't shout about it, no one else is going to. So we've got to be our biggest champions. We've got to be our biggest cheerleaders here, because if we don't do it, no one else is going to do it for us. I think one of the biggest things as well is that we should never think too much on what other people think. One of the things about our self-belief, and one of the things I know that I'm bad at doing, and let me know in the comments if you do it too, but sometimes if I'm on the train or if I'm at work, I don't think about how I'm achieving something. I think about what other people must think of me. And it's a really bad trait to have, and it takes a lot to get yourself out of that. But if you're more worried about what other people think of you rather than what you think of you, then that's something that you've really got to worry about. It's not about other people. Everybody's doing their own journey, and people will always have something to say. So you may as well achieve something and have them say something than not achieve anything because you're worried that they're going to say something. So really do give yourself some self-praise here, and stop worrying about what other people think, and at the same time write down your acknowledgements. Don't be afraid of being confident. Don't be afraid of being seen as arrogant. Sometimes you can be, but only if you talk somebody else down in the process. If you're really proud of what you've achieved, then shout about it. Be proud of it. You're not saying you have to say, oh, I'm wonderful, but you do need to say, yeah, I worked really hard and I've achieved this. Because a lot of the time we do work hard, so why don't we give ourselves the credit for working hard? So think about it, if somebody says to you, and how many times have people said, oh, you know what, good work on that project the other day. Don't go, oh, yeah. Actually say, yeah, thanks, I worked really hard on that. Or I put in loads of hours on that. But be proud of what you've achieved. Be proud of being confident and saying, yeah, I worked hard on that, thank you. Thanks for the acknowledgement. Because one of the things is as well, is that you'll do more if you push yourself out of your comfort zone. And so that's what's really, really important, is that if you really want to achieve really great things at work or in life, push yourself out of your comfort zone. Really put yourself out there, because the more that you do that, maybe for good or for bad, but you'll learn from it. There'll be people that go, no, you probably won't be right for that job. Or there'll be people that will say, we couldn't put you on that project. But then go, okay, can I get a bit of feedback and find out why? And then work on it. Don't take it as a criticism where you walk away and go, oh, well, they just don't like me. No, just go, okay, right, well, I'll make sure that I work on that for next time. So you learn. If you take every single knockback or a setback as a positive and go, right, I can learn from this and take this forward, then you're always learning. You're always winning, effectively, because you're always taking any kind of setback as a negative, as a positive rather than a negative. I think one of the biggest things as well with confidence, and something that I learned on Friday, I watched a panel full of amazing women for International Women's Day, and one was the foreign correspondent for the Times newspaper, and she'd written some amazing books, and people here, there were just amazing women in that room. And one of the things that they all said was that at times when they felt really low or really unconfident, they faked it till they maked it. And that's not always a positive. I'm not saying you should fake it, but I'm saying that when you're feeling a little bit low, or you're not feeling yourself, but you've got to push through and you've got to show yourself, take someone else's confidence, take someone else's self-belief in you, but don't always feel that you need to take a step back. There are some people that really believe in you and are really pushing you forward. So listen to those people and take their confidence in you if you can't take it for yourself. But fake it a little bit until you make it. Believe in your confidence, and act confident. Stand up straight, stand up tall, be positive, be confident in your own abilities, because then people will start to see it and eventually you'll believe in it too. I'm not saying that fake it until you make it's always a good idea. I mean, we've got people like Boris Johnson around, but what I'm saying is at least try to see the positives, acknowledge your achievements, and then act confident, be confident, and you will become confident, because we can't always feel it all the time. I know we can't. I can't. Sometimes I sit on these videos and I'm like, because we can't always be confident all of the time. But if we can at least believe in ourselves to be confident and believe in what we do and what we're doing this for, then everything else will slowly fall into place. Because you've got to build on your strengths, and you've got to be proud of your strengths. And if there's something that you're good at, shout about it, talk about it, say, yeah, I'm really proud that I can achieve this. I'm really good at doing this. And so that's one thing. In the comments below, type in, what is one thing that you're good at? What's a strength? And it doesn't have to be, big things. It could be that you can survive, I don't know, you can get up early and go to the gym. But what is it that you're really, really good at? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Type it in below and we can sort of build each other up and, celebrate what we're good at, celebrate our strengths, because that's what's really, really important. We have to do that, because if we don't do it, no one else is going to do it for us. And one of the last things as well is don't be afraid to ask for help, because a lot of people don't say, I need help, because they're worried that they come across as not knowing what they're doing, or they see it as, people losing confidence in them. But actually, if you can put your hand up and ask for help a lot of the time and say, actually, I don't really understand that. Could you just repeat it for me? Or can you just explain it in a bit more detail? people then go, oh, okay, sure. And you learn it in a different way. That is so much better than going off trying to hash it together, trying to listen to other people and put it together that way and not really get it right. So, you know, these are some really, really key things for self-belief. And I mean, focus on what you're good at, build on your strengths, you know, don't be afraid of being confident. And if you're not feeling confident, fake it, you know, because that will, you know, standing up tall will bring that confidence out in you, you know, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because that's not a hindrance at all. It's a good thing. And we should be talking to people a lot more. We should be asking for help when we need it, because otherwise we act like we know it all. And in fact, we'll probably end up messing up because we haven't asked those questions. And I think the last thing I really want to say on self-belief is have fun. I think so many times we hold ourselves back and then we beat each other up, and I know that or beat ourselves up, and I know that I do it, you know, and I can hear myself saying it, and I get so annoyed with myself for saying it, and then it's you know, it's a cycle, a complete circle of sort of negative self-talk. But the moment that you start to feel a little bit low or feel that you're not really believing in yourself, start having a bit of fun and start going, you know what, we're not, none of us are going to get out of here alive, right? We're all going to be on this planet until we pass. So we may as well have fun at the time that we're doing it. We may as well believe in ourselves and have fun and enjoy life and, you know, get out there, because, you know, life is what you make it, right? So I hope that's helped. I hope that's given you a little bit of self-belief here for today. You know, have a bit of fun, have some confidence in yourself, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then how can anybody else believe in you? And if you can't feel it, talk to people around you, talk to your loved ones, take their belief in you and then build on it. Because everyone's here for a reason, everyone's here for a purpose. And let's face it, you know, things that you can do, other people can't do, and vice versa. So let's all have a little bit of self-belief in ourselves today. Let's go to work, let's go look after our children, let's go, you know, really make it today and really sort of walk through the door and go, yeah, I've got this down, and start believing in ourselves a little bit more. So I hope this all helped you today. Have a really lovely day, everyone. As I say, type in the comments below what your strengths are. I'd love to know what they are, and I want you to start getting used to saying, I am good at this, because that's what we need to celebrate a lot more of. We need to start being proud of what people celebrate and what people think that they're good at, because that's what makes us who we are. So have a really lovely day. Happy Monday motivation. As I say, let's all start believing ourselves a lot more. Okay. See ya.